Try again. The network.
Are we live yet?
Yeah, Kevin, are we? Beautiful scenery you have, by the way, Hanka.
Yeah?
I said beautiful scenery that you have, by the way.
We're live.
I'm actually at a friend's house. It's his dad's bedroom. His mom's bedroom.
Okay.
So, you know, outside of that, let me do it here.
Excellent. But we're live right now. We're live. So?
Yes, we are. Yes.
So, ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome to...
Hello, everyone. Welcome.
Yeah, go ahead. Kevin, go ahead, please. Go ahead, please.
Okay. Welcome, everyone. We have our guest. Welcome, everyone. We have our guest with us live. Hanka and Rich.
I can hear you.
So over to you. Over to you, Mr. Victor.
All right,
can you hear
excellent.
Me now?
I can hear you, yes. I can hear you. So, everyone, welcome to the second day of our event. My name is Victor Onyebadu, and I'm the creative director of Bomo Bespoke. Today's session is on the export-ready leathercraft person. And a while ago, while we were live, I shared some screens. I shared some of Hanka's work. Hanka and Rich, the gentleman that we have as our guest, is a consummate leathercraft person. If you go on his website, Hanka and Rich, you will bear out the truth of the assertion that I just made. I always tell everyone who cares to listen that if there is one person who does leather the way I think leather ought to be done in Nigeria, it's Hanka and Rich. The reason I say that is he projects that ideal that Nigerians can actually do things and do them excellently. So, ladies and gentlemen, join me to welcome Hanka and Rich. I keep calling you Hanka and Rich. I don't even know what your real names are.
My name is Otejiri. Otejiri is my name.
Your name is?
Otejiri. Otejiri.
Otejiri. Excellent. Yeah. All right. So, Hanka and Rich, today's session is on the export-ready leathercraft person. We have, in the course of the few days that we've been here, we've had over 70 people join us live, and more people also watch the rebroadcast of the live sessions going forward. So what we want to do with this session is to inspire people to do things and do them excellently, and then also inspire people that it is possible to make goods that are export standard from Nigeria. So that's the whole point. I don't know if Kerry have a few thoughts that she wanted to share, and then we'll go into asking you some questions. Kevin will do most of the questions, but I think we'll start out with you giving some opening remarks, and then Kevin will go into the question and answer section.
Can you repeat just the last part?
Okay, I said that we will start out by allowing you to make some opening remarks. Like I said, the session is about getting Nigerian leathercraft people inspired enough to know that their works should not be restricted to the Nigerian or the African market. Right? They can actually do things that are export standard, like you're doing. So we're going to be asking you questions about how you got to the point where you're actually making such leather goods, and what tips you may want to offer to people who are just starting out in the trade. The workshop is on beginners in leathercraft, right? So I would like to give you a few minutes to make some opening remarks, and then we'll get on with the show.
Okay, I think it's important for me to get making products that are export quality.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I started out. I'm someone who really appreciates leather products. One of the things that made me, when people ask me, one of the things that made me go into leather, I did an order for some leather items from a couple of years before I started making leather. At that time I started, picking up the interest in leather crafts. And when the items came in, I looked at them. They were nice, But I told myself, I said, it's possible for me to make items that are this quality or even better. And I said I'll give it a try. And it started out almost like as a hobby.
Yeah.
And then from doing that, people seeing the quality of items I made, they were like, why don't you begin to sell these items? Like anybody who is passionate about craft and they are doing it properly. When people see that whatever it is you're making is valuable, people then want to say, people then advise you, especially your close family and friends. Will tell you that this is what you're doing is really good stuff. Why don't you begin to sell? I wouldn't exactly say when I started right off the bat the things I made were exportable items, but I think for me what is most important is always trying to create value. That's for me that's the yard. It's always trying to create value, and when you have that in mind, it's not about let me just make this item and get it out there as soon as possible. No, the mindset should be let me get it right, let it be done properly. Also, I think one of the things that has really helped me my exposure to the internet, and anytime I have the opportunity to tell people, I tell people, anybody who is into anything creative or craft, the internet is a very, very huge resource base. Whatever it is you're looking to learn is out there. You can get it out there easily. It's not rocket science. I think the most important ingredient is your dedication. You need to have to want to learn the craft. You need to have to learn to be able to make the highest quality product. It doesn't all start. It doesn't. Like Rome wasn't built in a day. And it's painstaking, because in a country like Nigeria, you find out that you're constantly faced with challenges, production challenges. If you want to say, oh, I want to make an item that is international quality, you're going to definitely be faced with production challenges. You'll be faced with production challenges, no doubt. But the thing about it is, I constantly tell myself, if there's a specific process, where that is not found in Nigeria. I think, for example, maybe I'm looking for a particular tool to use, and it's not available in Nigeria. The first thing that comes to my mind is, how is it possible for me to make this item here? Because Nigerians are so resourceful. What the thing about it is, sometimes you need to push them. Not a lot of us have the innovation mindset, so you need to push them. So take for example, if you have a design for a specific type of table, or that will help you might have to be the one who would go to your carpenter and say, okay, I want it made like this. I want the specifications to be like this. And then the person makes it for you. And you find, and the more you do it, the more you find out that you can find these resources here to be able to produce things of international standard. People are always like, oh, there's so many challenges. But wherever you go in the world, there are going to be challenges.
Excellent, exactly.
There are going to be challenges. It's always a constant. There are always going to be problems. There are always going to be challenges. The idea is for you to solve problems and grow as you solve these problems.
Yeah.
So I think one of the things that has really helped me is that I've been determined and I've tried as much as possible to educate myself. I'm constantly reading. I'm constantly reading books on Leathercraft. I'm constantly watching videos on Leathercraft. I never stop it because there's always something needs to be learned.
Excellent. So one of the things, sorry, let me just intervene here. Let me intervene a bit. One of the things that we are going to ask you to do,
you're breaking up. I'm not hearing you properly.
Okay, I was saying that one of the things we are going to ask you to do. Can you hear me, Kevin?
Yeah, but it's clocking. It's clocking.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Is it better now?
Yes, it's better. A whole lot better.
So I was saying that one of the things we are going to ask you to do in the course of the session is to give your recommendations of where people can source learning materials.
Learning materials
that have helped you the most. So we're going to ask you to do that for us in the course of the session.
I'll be happy to do that. So learning materials.
Yeah.
I tell people there's a lot of free resources. For me, the number one place is the internet.
Yeah.
For people that craft, you have websites like Etsy, etsy.com.
Yes.
What we do as craft people, our work is visual, and so if you're looking for inspiration, you need to see what other people have made, and then you can develop your idea. I don't tell, I'm very against copying designs. You can create your designs, but for you to create something, you need some sort of inspiration. So, if you go online, there are always, resources. YouTube is one of the biggest places because I'm a visual learner.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that has helped me is the fact that I can see someone do something. I can watch someone do something on YouTube, and then I'm able to replicate it as easily as possible.
Yeah.
I think it comes easy to me. So
let me ask Kevin to, so that we are mindful of time, right?
Yeah.
Let me ask Kevin to, Kevin, you have a list of questions you wanted to ask? Can you?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, can you run through them?
Okay. All right, I wrote them down. So let me start with.
I can't hear Kevin.
What were the challenges you faced in the craft?
I can't hear you.
Okay, let me just repeat what she just said. I heard her clearly. Can you hear me?
What were the challenges you faced?
I can hear you clearly.
Okay.
She asked,
should I go on?
She asked, okay, go on. Let me just repeat it, and then maybe you take the next one.
Okay.
She asked what were your major challenges coming
in the craft.
into the craft. Your biggest challenge.
I think it's a good question you ask. Because I've met a lot of people, during the course of me being a leather craftsman, and earlier on, the the first response I always give to people is, "Oh, my major challenge is finances," like all of us always say. So that's like the number one challenge. But it's not. I think for the major challenge is the lack of know-how.
Yeah.
You don't have a lot of people who have the craft know-how, and so even as a designer, if you can come up with fantastic products, you come up with the designs, you come up with the dimensions, you might not be able to get people to make what you've designed the way you want it to be made. And that's why it's been very painstaking for me, because I've had to go and learn the craft myself, design and do these things myself, and so it's taking me a longer time. But if we had an industry where we already developed the structure for production processes, then it becomes easy for you as a designer or a leathercraft person to come up with your design. You already have the sort of machinery. You can cut to specification. You know, your product comes out faster and easier. You know, it's more seamless. You know, so one of the challenges is lack of know-how. You know, there are quite a number of them. Lack of know-how is one of them. Lack of I would use the word mechanization, in terms of, you know, we don't have the right sort of machines to be able to get this top-notch or international quality leather product. Because if you do any sort of research, and you know, like I've done a lot of research looking at all of the top brands, top leather goods brands, and you know, you see that their process is mechanized. So you have the person who is cutting the product, you know, operating the machine. You have the person who is stitching the product, operating the machine. You have the person who is putting the fittings. You have the machines that make their fittings for them. You know, all of those things are there. But here, it's almost like it's manual. You have to do all of that by hand, and you know, so it can be painstaking sometimes. But I also understand, you know, that challenges are always available, so that, you know, we grow, and we can overcome them. You know, these days I don't complain about challenges anymore, you know, because I think it's not the right mindset. Challenges are there so that you grow, you learn, and you can overcome them and become better. So it's important that any challenge is an important ingredient for growth. You know, so for whoever is facing any sort of challenge, welcome it. Wake up every day and say, "Oh, how can I fix this problem I have?" That's the mindset.
Exactly.
Because listen, everybody has challenges, but it's natural for us as human beings to say, "Oh, this thing's happening to only me." No, it's not. It's happening to everybody. Everybody has some sort of challenge or some sort of problem they are trying to overcome. But the beauty of it is when you engage the challenge or the problem and find a solution for it. You know, it makes you feel better. It makes you feel like, you know, it's sort of like little challenges come, and then as you solve those challenges, you know, bit by bit, it leads you to your goal, and then you feel like, okay, I've achieved a certain goal. So there are always going to be challenges. You know, Nigeria, we're more of the consumer economy, but things are changing now, because, you know, the younger generations are beginning to go out there and produce things. But before now, we've been more of a consumer economy. You want to buy all your clothing from, you know, the abroad. You want to buy all your shoes from the abroad. You want to buy everything from the abroad. You know, so that's the challenge. It's the mindset also, but it's beginning to change little by little. And you know, for any of us who is into any sort of craft, the responsibility now lies on us to be able to make products that are good enough, so that when other Nigerians who doubt, because it's going to be a gradual process to change the mindset, when other Nigerians who doubt see your product, you know, and say, they will ask you, they'll say, "Are you sure this thing is made in Nigeria?" Because I had a lot of people tell me that I'm a liar, that my products are not made in Nigeria.
Let me ask you a question, Hanka.
Yeah.
You talked about mechanization being a problem, a challenge in Nigeria. Let me ask you a question. As a trailblazer in this industry, do you have plans for mechanization?
Oh, of course. It's a no-brainer.
Okay.
You know, we need to, for us to grow our economy, we need to be mechanized.
Because
I mean, if
I've
you look
seen
at
some of your videos on Instagram where you are using laser
laser etching.
Burn, to etch
laser etching,
on your leather.
Yes.
So I was asking, So do you have plans for, you know, large scale mechanization of your process?
Oh, of course, in the long run, you know, I mean, of course, it's a no-brainer. That's the direction we need to go in. You know, it's such a no-brainer. We have to go in that direction. It's so important, because, you know, we have the population to be able to, you know, it's almost like we're like a smaller version of China in terms of population, and see what those guys have been able to do. I mean, I don't know about you, but in my lifetime, when I was younger, we used to look down on products that were made in China.
Yeah.
But now they make products for everybody.
And then okay, let
Everybody.
me give you the progression.
Yeah.
We used to look down on Chinese products, and then at some point, China became the savior.
Yeah.
I remember when I was in university, the only reason why I could have a DVD set in my hostel was because of China. The
Please
DVD
say that
sets.
again. Say that again. I
I
lost you.
said, when I was in the university,
Yeah.
I could only own a DVD set in my hostel
Yeah.
because it was Chinese made. It was China made.
Exactly.
The
What?
US made DVD sets
Yeah.
of that time were completely out of my reach.
Exactly.
But a few years
Exactly.
ago, we used to yap people who had Chinese products like
Yeah.
that.
It's even the same. It's even the same thing with the automobiles from
Oh, yeah.
what's it called? It's the same thing with the automobiles from Asia. When I was younger, anybody who was driving a Hyundai or a Daewoo racer, you laugh at them and say, "Oh, this one's father doesn't have money. That's why they are driving Daewoo and Honda." But these cars are so expensive now.
Yeah.
Because over time, those guys have, so the challenge with us is when you make a pair of slippers or you make a bag and it doesn't look nice, you need to look at it and say, how can I make this better? And that's one of the things that the guys in the abroad do. You see, they make something version 1, they make it again, they say version 2.0, they make it again, they say version 3.0. They are constantly improving on that one product. They are constantly improving on that one product. But then you make something is not so good, you leave it alone. You say you want to go and make another one. No. Focus on this design. It's a fantastic design. Keep on trying to improve on that design until it's international standard. The problem with a lot of us is we say, oh, I want to own a brand. I want to be able to make shoes. I want to make bags. I want to make. It's not such an easy thing, especially when you don't have the know-how. So it's better for you to even try to specialize and say, okay, let me focus on making slippers for the next 3 to 4 years. And wake up every day. I mean, there's no way around it. If you wake up every day to do one particular thing, you become prolific at it. You become an expert at it because you've given it so many hours of your time. So that's the mindset.
Okay, Kevin, shoot your other questions. Okay, wow, I think Kevin's screen has frozen. So let me ask you, what steps, right? So you have, let's say, a bag maker or a craft person who is beginning to get some traffic.
Say that again, please.
You have a craft person who is beginning to make some wave. He's getting good. He's getting some recognition. But he wants to go international.
But he wants to?
He wants to go international. He wants to be export standard. What particular things can he do to, just give like highlights, bullet points of the things?
Okay, so for you, it's easy. One of the things you need to do. We thank God that we have social media now. One of the things you need to do is branding. So if you have a social media page, professional pictures on your social media page, it's very, very, very important that you have a website because people are not going to take you seriously if you don't. People are not going to take you seriously if you don't have a website. So you need to have a website that is easily accessible. You need to have a website that is easy for people outside the country to be able to make orders or purchase. Because it's the way they work over there. It's the same way we sit here in our country and go on Amazon or we'll go on AliExpress or we'll go on Alibaba and we order something and it comes to us. If those websites were not available, those people won't be able to make international sales. So you actually need the website. It's like the doorway to the world for you as a brand. That's one thing. What else? That's one. I think that's the major thing. Another way you can go about it is, we know that there are some government organizations that help. One of them being the Nigerian Exports Promotion Council. Which I always advise anybody who is into crafts or who makes goods locally to try to engage with them. They have their pages on Instagram. Try and engage with them. Try and attend their attend their what's it called, events, showcase your product. It's all about constantly trying to push yourself out there, you know, because a lot of us feel that, oh, if we just sit and make nice products, then people will come to us. No, you constantly have to try and make noise and put yourself out there and try to meet people, you know. It's not a day job, but you know,
you are heading towards my hello.
I want to advise people. It's important that you're, as a brand, before you even begin to speak, you know, to export items and all of that, you've gotten your product to a level where, or you've been able to carve out a niche of the Nigerian market where you see people, you know, who appreciate and accept what you're making. You know, because then that now gives you the foundation to say, okay, from what these people are telling me, they're giving me this customer feedback, this is what I need to change, this is how I need to make my products better. Then you little by little, your products get to a certain level, and then you now think, I can now begin to export. Because it's important we get a feedback for items we make. It's not just about making the items. You also even need to have the intended user of that product in mind. And so one of the things I always talk about when I'm talking about making products is agronomics, which is basically, you know, a term that revolves around how well any product you are making works with the person who is using it. Because you don't want to make a slippers where anytime the person wears it, it's tight for the person, or there's something that is constantly pricking the person's foot, or is uncomfortable to wear, or, you know, the leather is, you know, or some part of the slippers is irritating the intended user. The person is going to drop your product. The person will not use your product. So you need to focus on, you know, your product being very extremely user friendly. And that's the feedback I always,
functionality.
You know, I'm always very eager for feedback from people when I send items to them. I always want to know, okay, how is this thing? And not just immediately, but, you know, sometimes you can even wait for a month and say, okay, how is this product? How this product, you know, what are the things? And then it has helped because some of the designs we've made, from the feedback we've gotten from people, we've been able to, you know, create better versions of those products. You know, develop the product to a level where we're confident enough to say, okay, we can put this on our website, so it's international standard. You don't want to send a product to someone in the US and the person says, in the review section of your website, the person says, oh, this product is a terrible product to use. It doesn't sell well on you as a brand, or, you know, on your integrity. You know, those are things we have to work towards. So the most important thing is, it's craft, but you need to think about creating value. It's not just about making things to collect money from people. You need to give them value. They need to be happy. You know, they need to derive satisfaction from the product they're getting from you. It's so important.
Excellent.
You always need to put it first before anything, before even the money.
Excellent. Yeah. I'm going to ask you a bit of a technical question. I hope you can hear me very well. I'm going to ask you a bit of a technical question, but before I do that, let me turn over to Kevin. Kevin, you have another question?
Yeah, just one last one for him.
Okay.
I would like to know how you started advertising your products. Did you get me?
Did you get her? She said, how did you start with your advertising?
Advertising your products.
Also, that's a fantastic question, you know. Well, for advertising, I mean, listen, one of the advantages we have nowadays is, like I said, social media. I have things like Instagram and all of that. But before now, you go back to traditional ways of, if there was no social media, or if there was no Instagram, what's the best way to advertise your product? You go back to the traditional, and I still advise people till today. I said you don't have any, you know, you shouldn't overlook the traditional methods of, you know, marketing and advertisement. One of the strongest ways you can advertise your product, ensure that your products are good quality, because the strongest form of advertisement is from referrals.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? A referral sells your product already 100%. It means that the person who is saying, I bought this pair of slippers from this man, is fantastic. The person that they are telling to come and buy from you doesn't have any doubt in your product already. So the person is already sold. Until today, a lot of my sales are from referrals. People saying, "Oh, I want to send this guy to you. You make really good products. Come," and you go to meet the person. The person loves what you do. That person, so from each person you sell to, that person connects you to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 other people. So it's almost like a spider web kind of thing where it's so it's the number one way is ensure you make good products, because your products are going to market themselves for you. And then on the back end, you can now say you want to do social media marketing, advertise on Instagram, go on your Facebook page, create email marketing. Maybe you have a list of your clients, because you're not just marketing for new clients. The most important clients are the clients who already trust you. But then you have to constantly remind them that, oh, we're in the market. We have this new item. We have this item on sale. Because they already trust you. And they're more likely to give you their money because they already trust you.
Okay, so I said I was going to ask a technical question on what are the top 5 skills that you think a beginner leathercraft person ought to have. So
say that again.
The top 5 skills that the beginner leathercraft person needs to have.
Top 5 skills.
So I'm starting
the thing about skills.
One second.
The thing about.
I'm starting out leathercraft today. What will be your advice to me? What skills will you advise that I master?
I like the question, but you see, the thing about skills is when you're starting out in leather, you're not going to have any sort of skill in leathercraft, but you have to be dedicated. And as you go along, then you begin to learn. I mean, it's just being dedicated, being focused, being driven. And you need to want to learn. If you want to learn, then it's easy for you to pick up new skills. It becomes easy for you to learn new things. So, being curious, being dedicated, I mean, that's basically it. But over time, the more you do it, the better you get at it. And so even when I look at the guys who inspire me, some of the guys abroad like Bussiness and this other guy in Czechoslovakia, Czech Republic, I can't remember his name now. You see the progression. You see where they were 10 years ago, because sometimes they do a throwback photo and say, oh, this is something I made 10 years ago. And then you see the progression, and then you see what they make now, and you see the difference. So it's constantly. I am constantly getting better. I'm constantly learning new things. It's the truth. It's a never ending road. I'm constantly getting better, learning new skills. Trying every day to add to myself. So it's about the hunger. It's about the dedication. It's about that focus, basically. And then along the way, you begin to pick up the necessary skills, even the skills you need to be able to. And people's skills, that's dealing with your clientele, dealing with your staff. With time, over time, you learn that. You have to, and a lot of that we learn from experience.
Yeah. I'm happy you talked about the people who inspire you and your mentors. Do you have a mentorship program?
Say that again.
I'm happy that you spoke about the people who inspire you. You talked about someone in the Czech Republic. I'm certain that there are several of our viewers who are inspired by you and your craft. So I was asking, do you have any thoughts around mentorship of young practitioners?
Do I have any thoughts around
mentorship? Do you have any structured program?
Oh, well, it's not exactly. Yeah, it's a fantastic question. I like that. It's not exactly structured. But what I try to do now is I make myself available to whoever wants to has any sort of question. I'm open. I'm such an open book. Who has any sort of question or who needs tips, to the best of my ability. If you want, resources, or you want to know where I bought this item, or you don't want to know where, I'm open, because I think, it's also one of the things that is going to help us, develop the craft. in Nigeria. I think one of the major challenges we have is everybody's always hiding their resources. And if we keep on hiding our resources, we keep on hiding our knowledge, if we keep on hoarding all of that information, then the community, the country as a whole does not grow. So I'm open. I'm very
That's
passionate
our
about
African
talking to
mentality.
people. I'm very passionate about training people. I'm very passionate about teaching because listen, if there are 5 young leathercraft people who are coming up, as opposed to hiding information from them, I'd rather be part of their success story. And that should be the mindset.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%.
Yeah,
I agree with you
that should be the
100%.
mindset.
So I'll take you up on the offer.
Anytime.
When should I come so that you show me how
Anytime.
how
Anytime.
and where you buy your leather?
Anytime I'm free. I buy my leather in Mushin.
Yes. So
I buy most of my leather in Mushin, Lagos.
when are you scheduled to be in Mushi again? I'll break bank and come.
I'm out of them. I was in Mushin on Friday. I'm out of Lagos because I have a training with in conjunction with Semi Handbag
Yes, you mentioned it.
starting this week.
Where is it
So
holding in Ibadan? Is it
yes,
holding
in
in
Ibadan.
Ibadan?
In Ibadan, yes, and it should end, sometime in December. At least I should be free sometime in December. I mean, anytime I could give you a heads up. It's not a problem. I mean, some of the places I learned some of the people I learned or the places I learned about, some people showed me too. So I mean, I didn't discover everything myself. So I would love to if you want to come with me. And that's one of the things. Some of the students I've trained, because sometimes I do like maybe a one-on-one. Tonight we have a day where we go to the market and I show them, so this is where you come to if you want to buy this. This is where you go to if you need this. That is what you do if you need that. It's free for everybody, really.
Okay. So first week in December, I'll give you a call, sir.
Yes, please. I'm available.
Thank you very much. Thank you
You're
very much.
welcome.
I don't know if
Take me
you
along with you, sir, Victor.
All
Say
right,
that
no
again.
problem.
I want
So
to
you are saying,
join. Take me along with you. Yes, I want to.
okay,
Oh,
excellent.
I can't hear her.
I
She
said I
said
would
that
like
we
to
should
join
bring her
you
along.
also with Mr.
Oh no,
Victor.
of course. You're welcome to join us.
Too
All right,
bad.
excellent. All
You're
right,
welcome to
thank you
join us.
very much, Anka. It's been lovely spending almost an hour with you.
No, it's fine. Thank you. Thank
Yes.
you guys for having me.
Thank you. Do we have questions, Kevin, that we can take?
From
Otherwise,
the
yes, from the.
no questions. No questions.
Okay.
There are no
So we'll
questions.
let you get back to what you were doing shortly before we
Okay.
got you.
Sorry. Someone is asking for
All
the
right.
handle of the government organization page that he mentioned earlier on
I think
Instagram.
it's Nigerian Export Promotion Council. Just Google them.
Oh,
You
Yes,
can get it.
okay.
NEPC, Nigerian
NEPC.
Export
Okay.
Promotion Council.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, yes, yes. Any other one?
No other one.
All right. Thank you very much, Hanka.
You're
Enjoy the
welcome.
rest of it.
Pleasure to
I
be here.
thank you very
Thank you
much.
so
God bless you.
much. Yeah.
All right, guys.
Good to have you here. Thank you. Thank you for your
Bye.
time.
All right.
Bye.
So okay. So do we continue? Do I just do a quick one with the hand stitching, and then so that you can by is it 6 o'clock take your class? When is your class meant to
It's
be?
past 6. Okay, it's
No. It's just 7. It's just 5:30 now.
it's just 5. Yeah, 5.
Okay, so do I do a quick one on hand stitching of leather, or should I just post a video and refer people to it? Hello. Do we can we accommodate that still, or do we leave it till next time? Hello. Hello, Kevin.
My class is for 6:30.
Okay, your class is for 6:30.
Yeah.
So do I take 10 minutes in? Do I use 10 minutes to talk about hand stitching leather so that by 6:30 you can now do your class? Or should we
Yeah, I
just
can hear you.
So I was asking, do I take 10 minutes to talk about hand stitching leather, or do we leave it till later on? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that was Hanka and Rich. He spoke to us for almost 30 minutes on how he got started with Leathercraft and how it has been with him ever since. And he also made mention that he is available for mentorship. Reach out to him on social media and, take him up on mentorship. He's an open book, like he said, and he's always willing to help. It wasn't difficult getting him on this stream, really, and I encourage you to reach out to him. You'll be surprised how open and how forthcoming he is. At this point, I would just want to take 10 minutes to share with us about hand stitching leather. I understand that in Kevin's class, several people asked about how to do hand stitching. So I have a video on my YouTube channel, homobespoke.com, where I have extensively dealt with how to hand stitch leather. If you go there, you will see it. But I just want to play a few of the clips from that video and then speak over it. Hang on a second while I share the screen.
Now this is the leather that I'm going to use. Medium, good quality leather. I just like color. So I'm going to mark out 21 cm, just a rectangle of 21 cm. Okay, I will probably mark out 26, 27 cm just to give myself a margin of error.
These are just the beginning stages.
Just a simple bracelet.
Let me move it along to the place where I truly talked about hand stitching. So a little while ago. So
I'm however going to use something that anyone can easily find.
So like I mentioned, you will not need.
The key thing you must note about stitching is that one, you want your stitches to be uniform. You want it to be straight. You want your stitches falling on a straight line or on a straight curve. Then you want your stitches to be uniform in the sense of the stitch length between two stitches must be the same throughout the entire length of the stitches. And to achieve the first thing I meant about your stitches being on a straight line, you need to mark out your stitching line. So you mark out a line on which every single stitch is going to fall. So you can see that I'm marking it. But the point is you mark that stitching line. Then you punch your stitching holes. The tools, the professional tools with which you punch your stitching holes are called pricking irons, or some people call it the stitching punches. The real names for them, the technical name is pricking iron. So basically, you place your pricking iron on the line that you drew and hammer. But like I said, I believe that when you're starting leather work, you probably may not have these tools and equipment. So I'm not going to use this. I'm however going to use something that anyone can easily find in the market and use for his or herself. And that is this punch right here that is sold for 100 naira in Mushi. So I'm going to use the same. In fact, if you check very well, you see that the distance I have between the stitching lengths on this pricking iron is almost the same with this one. So I'm going to use this to mark out my stitching holes and then punch out with this punch. So let's do that. So I'm using this pair of dividers that I have stuck cardboard in between it and held with masking tape to mark out the exact stitching holes that I'm going to be using. Then I'll go ahead and use that punch to punch out the stitching holes. So that's what I'm doing right now, just punch out each of them. I'm going to speed it up a bit. So that's it. I'm basically just punching out the holes. Now, this is how you hold your punches while you punch. You place it there, punch. So let's speed up this thing again, and so that we can get to the fun part, which is actually stitching, which is actually the place that I've been longing to get to. So this is how you start stitching. I'm going to give a few spaces so that I can have a place to lock in the bracelet. So you put in your needles like so. You pull them together to make sure that they are equal in length on both sides. Then you put your front needle, that's your right hand needle, make a T with your left hand needle. You pull that front thread and then put your back needle from the same hole where your front needle entered. Then you make a loop with the thread around the back needle and pull tight. Don't pull it too tight, just pull it snug. Let's demonstrate that again. See that? Put the back needle from the same hole where the front needle entered, make a loop around it and pull. Basically, it's a rhythmical thing about it. Let's say front needle goes in, you make a T and pull. Back needle goes in, you make a loop and pull. So I guess it's front T pull, back loop pull. So back needle goes into the same hole, you make a loop and pull. So front T pull, back loop pull. Front needle goes in, you make a T, you pull. Back needle goes in, you make a loop and pull. An aircraft just flew over my house. Sorry for the interference. Front needle goes in, back needle goes in, you make a loop and pull. Front needle goes in, you make a T and pull. Back needle goes in, you make a loop and pull. I'm going to remove this from the stitching pony and demonstrate it plainly. So the front needle goes in, you pull it out, then you pull it backwards, and from that same hole where it came out, the back needle goes into the same hole, coming out on the other side, and you pull it. That's basically it. It's simple, but you have to practice it many times to get a hang of it without making mistakes. So we'll put this back in the stitching pony and finish off the stitching. So it's looking, everything is straight. So let's put this back on the stitching pony. So front needle goes in, you make a T and pull. Back needle goes into the same hole, you make a loop and pull. It got tangled with the leather somewhere there. Just going to, so you pull it out. Front needle goes in, you make a T and pull up. Back needle goes in, you make a loop and pull snug. Front needle goes in, you make a T and pull up. Back needle goes in, you make a loop and pull snug. Basically, that's it. We could make a poem out of it. Front T pull, back loop snug. So basically, that's all there is to saddle stitching. You could you have to keep on practicing it.
So you have to be consistent in doing this so that your stitches don't get crooked. But basically, that's all there is to it. So let's demonstrate it from this angle again. Front goes in T, pull, back goes in, make a loop, pull snug. Front T, pull, back loop snug. Front T, pull, back loop snug. Front T, pull, back loop snug. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. I just wanted to share this with you. So practice it on your own. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to take them. And thanks to the organizers again for having me. Have a lovely evening, ladies and gentlemen. God bless you.
That was interesting.
All right. I hope it was clear enough. So basically, it's the front needle goes in. You make you pull it up. You put the back needle into the same hole. Make a loop around that needle and then pull it. So basically, I shot this just a short while ago, just to demonstrate for this class. So I hope that was clear enough. I don't know if we have any questions. I'll be happy to take them. Otherwise, we will just sign off for now and get ready for your class, which is by 6:30, right?
Yeah, 6:30.
Okay. Are there any questions? Otherwise, we'll call it a day.
No, we're not calling it a day yet.
Okay. Okay, no,
We'll be back
we call it
again
by 6:30, certainly, yes. All right, thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back by 6:30 with a tutorial video on how to make a simple leather pouch. Stay tuned. 6:30 we'll be back. Thank you for joining us. Thank you so much.